Today's video, we're going to do a review on the Braxton Creek Bushwhacker Plus 15 FK. We'll point out some of the things that we felt was good and some of the stuff we thought was bad. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to tell you what our opinion of it is. We're going to go ahead and get started here on the inside. Okay, so the first thing that is not a very good engineering idea is the emergency exit window. That's the backrest to the seat cushion. It seems that when you sit down and put weight against the back cushion, the window shuts, and this stabs you. Even when you try to open it, the seat cushion pushes it open. That probably is not good engineering there. One thing that they did do is they put lights. They put these little LED lights everywhere. There are 7 of them in this little camper. And it really lights this place up great. Even at night, you can find the light to do whatever you're doing, wherever you're at in this camper. They are great. The back of the couch, or the dinette, folds down. We found that we leave it up all the time, and we still have a queen-size bed to sleep in when the table's down. The table is something that we really liked about this camper. When you have the table set up, it's on an arm, so you can move the table wherever you want it. We really like this function, and it is great when one of us wants to work and the other one wants to do something else and doesn't really need a table. The storage shelf in the back is, well, it's a shelf. There's not a lot of room up here to store anything. We just store bits and pieces, parts up here. The air conditioner in this camper is a 5,000 watt BTU window style air conditioner for a house. It does work great in here. It does get it cold in here. We camped last weekend. It was 85 plus degrees. We actually had to turn it back. It got so cold in here. The radio that they put in this camper is okay. It works. It makes noise. You can connect Bluetooth to it or HDMI. You can also go in and hook things up to it, like your TV and stuff like that. The refrigerator is not real big. It is functional. It is a 3-way. It runs on propane, 12 volt or 120 volt AC. I'm going to show you something about the refrigerator that we do not like. Next thing is the furnace, which is down here, is a propane fired forced air furnace. So you need propane, and you also need at least 12 volt battery to run the blower in it. Over here beside the refrigerator, we have 120 volt outlet. We have a TV hookup, which also has the button for the antenna to turn it on. And this also is the antenna that you use for the radio that's built into it. We added the cigarette lighter plug-in, and it also has the double USB plug-in, so you can charge your phones or whatever. Okay, so now within the bed mode, as I call it, you can fold this backrest down. Now it does not lay completely flat. It is a little bit of an angle to it, but we have found that the size of the bed in the Bushwhacker Plus is a good size, and we do not fold that down. We leave it up in the dinette mode, and we still have plenty of room to sleep on the bed. The bed is not bad. I like firm, so it's comfortable for me. Also, when it's in the bed mode, you have storage under the bed right there between the dinette. One of the things, we spent about 6 months, we looked at 4 different manufacturers. I'm not going to mention no names, but when we went down through and we looked at all 4, this one actually was the most practical for the type of camping that we do. We camp in the northeastern part of the United States 12 months a year. We camp in the winter, we camp in the summer, we camp when it's 20 degrees out, we camp when it's 90 degrees out. All the plumbing inside this camper is inside the passenger compartment. As long as there's heat in here, the plumbing will not freeze, with the exception of the freshwater tank, which is on the bottom outside, and the line coming from the freshwater tank in through the floor will freeze up if it gets cold enough. There's one other thing, it has an outside shower. We disconnect it when we camp in the wintertime because they will also freeze up when it gets cold out. Now, one of the things that we really liked about this camper is to be able to boondock. And this camper is set up good for boondocking. One of the things that we like is we can have the windows open if it's a nice cool evening, and they put a fan in the ceiling. Really moves a lot of air. With the windows open and this fan on low, it really cools off nice in here. This camper has a wet bath in it. It has a flush toilet, and it also has a shower. One of the things that we didn't like about this when we looked at it and when we bought it was, for some reason, they put the faucet for the shower with the hose coming out of the top of it. After I brought it home, I tore it apart and flipped it around and put the hose coming out of the bottom of it. It seemed to make more sense to do that. We also added the wood shower mat. And the other thing that we really liked about this camper was it has this sliding door. So there's no more shower curtain. So this camper does have a monitor panel in it. It's a basic monitor panel like about every other camper has in it. You have your freshwater pump switch. This is the LP for the hot water tank, and this is the 120 volt heating element in the water tank. When you turn this on to light the hot water tank, if it fails to light, you have a fault light up here that comes on to tell you that it did not light. You have your battery, which we're on shore power, so it will show it's fully charged. Freshwater tank, we're at a third. Black water tank is empty, and the gray water tank is empty. So let's take a look at the kitchen area here. There's a shelf above the kitchen area. This shelf is not a bad size shelf for storage. We store cups, plates, and other miscellaneous things up here, and everything does seem to ride fairly decent up here. The next thing is the 2-burner cooktop that they use on this. And it is a nice cooktop. You turn the knob on and it does have the piezo ignition to light it. We installed the optional glass top, which helps create more area, countertop area. The standard bar sink over here, when we got this, I've upgraded this faucet. When we got this, it had a little faucet on it, and it come out just above the sink, and there wasn't really a whole lot you could do with it. The other thing that this camper has is it does have a microwave. It has a 1100 watt microwave. It's got a turntable in it. Now, this is not the most powerful microwave, but it does work. It has storage under the sink, 2 shelves, and there's actually quite a bit of storage under here. That's pretty much the inside of it. A couple other things that we found when we got it home was the blocking that they put underneath the furnace. Didn't have no fasteners or nothing in it. We put screws in them so they wouldn't vibrate loose and the furnace fall down. The other thing that we had to go in and fix was the platform under the shower pan. For some reason they made it short, and when you step in the shower, the floor actually went way down. It was 1/2 inch too short, so we went in, shimmed it all up, and got it up tight, so we didn't have any problems with that. There's a couple things on the outside that I'd like to point out. So let's go outside and take a look at that. Okay, so the first thing is I talked about the outside shower. This is the outside shower right here. The spigot is right behind that plastic cover. In the wintertime, there's not enough heat back there, and that will freeze up. So we disconnect it and plug it so there's no water back here at all. They did do a nice thing. They put the 30 amp detachable power cord on it, which that actually saves a lot of space inside the trailer. Now, one of the things that I don't like about this trailer is the refrigerator. They have the vents on the side, which I understand they got to have them there. However, they have these stupid little clips right here, if you can see it, and you have to turn these to unlock it, and you have to turn them to lock it. Now, since it's unlocked, you have to take this out because that's the controls for the refrigerator. So every time that you want to turn the refrigerator on and off, or adjust it or do something, you have to deal with the stupid cover and them stupid little things right there. The furnace vents right there, and it definitely does get a lot of hot air coming out of there. The black and the gray water dump is just like any other RV. And then on the tongue of the RV, you have a 12 volt battery, the propane tank, and we actually upgraded to a 12 volt power jack. Now we're on the side that the door's on. One of the things that is kind of mind-boggling about this is the step. There's one step. Depending on how you have the camper parked, the first step is a big step to a little step. I think if you really wanted to, you could probably put double steps on. I understand they only put one step on because it's a ground clearance issue. I personally don't take mine off the road that much, so I don't really have an issue with ground clearance. They did put some big beefy off-road tires on it. It does have the 110 or 120 volt plug-in double receptacle on this side. Out of the 4 that we looked at, this was one of the few that actually had the latches on the storage compartment correct. This is your twist latch, and this is the latch that you put the key in and lock it. I give them a big hand on getting this part of it right. One of the other things that is nice on this camper is the windows. The windows are smoked pretty good, and they're almost privacy. You almost cannot see inside. Right now the lights are on inside and you cannot really see inside. And they also did a good job with the LED light up above the door. Now, the window we was just looking at is this one right here. Another thing that they did, it was really good on this, I think, is the shades. They actually have the black shades, the blackout shades in here, and they definitely do keep the light out of here. I know that's probably kind of quick. I didn't get into a lot of the nuts and the bolts of the camper. My intention is to basically tell you my opinion of the camper and some of the things that I like and some of the things that I'm not real happy about, but it's a camper. Like I said, we looked at 4 manufacturers, and out of the 4, this one was more us than the other ones. The overall quality of the camper, well, it's mass produced. You can see that. The big plus is 2-year warranty, gives you time to get it sorted out. I guess what you want to know is it worth the money? Well, after looking at some of the other ones, my opinion is yes, it's worth the money. Would I give it 5 stars? No, not at all. They've got some things that they could definitely improve on building these things. It's the little things that would make a big difference. Am I sorry that I bought this one? No, not at all. I would go out and buy another one tomorrow. I mean, it's just the perfect camper for 2 people. We boondock, we do campsites, clear up to full hookups. We travel. I mean, it's just the perfect thing. It weighs 1,900 pounds empty right now. When we have it loaded, we're about 2250. I think is what the weight ticket said the last time we weighed it. It pulls great. We do use a friction sway bar on the interstate. I don't know that you really need one, but it does help take a little of the wiggle out of it. When we're on just 2-lane roads or something like that, we don't even put it on. The trailer really pulls good. So yeah. Is it a 5-star trailer? No, not at all. But yeah, it's a nice trailer. You know, it just depends on what your needs are and if this fits it. And it does ours. So yeah, we're glad we bought it. We're glad we spent 6 months looking at 4 of them. We drove countless miles to actually physically look at them. And yeah, this is the one we got, and we've camped in 20-degree weather up to 90-degree weather in it, and everything works just fine in it. Thanks for watching, and I hope you like this video.